Welcome to this video on what is an effective curriculum comprised of. So this video purpose is to really showcase and highlight what is a curriculum. This is important because oftentimes people online ask, when building course, what do I need to do? How many lessons, how many quizzes, how many activities? And I think it's important to sort of backtrack a little bit and talk a little bit about the components of what makes curriculum so effective. So if we look at effective curriculum, we look at, what is it that makes learning and the material really exciting? So when you're building your online course, here are 5 components to think about that are really effective for your curriculum. 1, learning outcomes. Outcomes that are clearly defined, results-driven learning outcomes that really show the progression from A to Z. You also want to think about quizzes and the individual lessons and build up to the end of the course quiz. So the idea is behind quizzes is that you want to give mini quizzes in each lesson. Now, traditionally, we think of quizzes as very driven by, results and, points and just grades. And the quizzes here are really intended to support learning. Quizzes are really to supplement learning, and quizzes are really to sort of check for knowledge and see that the students are progressing. The most ideal way is to have mini quizzes or like a quiz in each lesson or module, and that all build up to an overall end of course quiz. This is effective because your students will sort of be held accountable throughout the course rather than going to the end of the course and reaching the end point and wondering what did they learn and what did they master. This also holds you accountable as the instructor to really develop intentional activities and develop intentional components in your curriculum that really support the overall learning objectives. Next, you want to look at interactive activities. Games, puzzles, or two-way engagement that promotes interaction versus passive consumption. This is really important because oftentimes learning is considered sitting in a computer, watching a video, clicking on some buttons, and trying to speed through the next lessons. And that interaction will sort of stimulate our students' brain and get them thinking and thinking outside the box, thinking critically and challenging them to say, okay, I'm actually going to make you do something in this course. Though it is not in person and though it is online, I can still get you involved. And that's the whole idea behind interactive activities, is you want to have your students involved in the course rather than sitting there on a chair, just sort of zoned out and on their headphones, just falling asleep. The more that you can engage them through some kind of puzzle, games, or some kind of activity that they have to click on, they have to really post, it really sort of takes them on the next step of learning. And then the next one is reflection time. We really want to give our students a chance to pause, reflect, and share. And this is really important because oftentimes we are having students watch videos and do assignments, but we really want to invite them to pause. Pause and reflect, write in a journal, post in a Facebook group, post in a discussion forum. We want to invite students to reflect and take the time to reflect to sort of make the connection between what they're learning and what that connection between their own learning and their own life. And also make the connection to sharing and so supporting each other as a class, as supporting each other as students, and inviting each other to share what our experiences are and post them. I think oftentimes students spend a lot of time reflecting and writing, but really not encouraged to share. And so sharing and posting will invite conversation, it will invite discussion amongst each other, and also a great way for students to support each other. And this really ties in well to my final point about around reflection, which in online courses is really about social learning. The accountability from peers to learn together and to get to the finish line. Oftentimes we hear it's not a race, but it's a sprint. And so it's not so in the sense that we want to encourage students to reach the finish line, but not at the expense of quality or especially not at the expense of quality. We really want to invite students to really look at social learning and reach out to their peers for support, reach out to peers for feedback, reach out to peers for engagement, and to engage each other as a community in this opportunity to learn globally and digitally. These are 5 components that I feel like is really what makes curriculum really effective. So if you're looking to build your online course and you're wondering what do you need to develop besides the content, I would also encourage you to review this slide again and go back to looking at your learning outcomes, going back to the kinds of quizzes that you're creating. Are they just multiple choice quizzes? Are they fill in the blanks? Or can they be more video interactive quizzes? Or they can be more like fill in the blank, like graphical quizzes. There's so many tools out there that there's many different ways that you can enhance the experience in your quizzes. And then interactive activities. Remember, we don't want to encourage passive learning and just kind of zoning out on our headphones. We really want to encourage interactive activities through games, puzzles, and to engagement. The idea behind this is we want to get students to participate in the course rather than just sit behind their computer screen. And also, we want to invite them to reflect and take time to share their experiences, their thoughts, what they're learning, what they're struggling with, what they need help with, and really share that online. And it goes really well as a reminder to social learning. That's the beauty of online learning, is this idea of social learning. It's the idea that people can reach out to each other on a Facebook group, in a discussion forum, to continue learning, to continue supporting each other through this independent learning and helping each other throughout the process. Because learning in person, what makes learning in person effective is that social component, having a peer group, being able to sit next to someone. And so if you're online, the same process can be hard to replicate. So reaching out, encouraging students to reach out to their classmates, building community, building relationships, getting to know their classmates so that they can have a more effective and positive online experience. So those are the components that really make curriculum delivering effective curriculum online. And if you have any questions, leave a comment or question.